Okay. Absolutely zero filter here. It seems to be allowing her to unlock a lot of parts of herself. It's about the cat. Hello, welcome to this video. My name's Dan, aka Lucid. I'm a singer-songwriter, music producer person, and today I'm going to be reacting to Kesha's brand new album. This is Gag Order. So let's go. So, okay, I'm excited to jump into this album. From what I heard from Fine Line Eat the Acid, which I reacted to for the first time last week in my song catch-up video, which you can check out, I'll leave a link for you. It was not what I expected. It's almost like that both songs were waiting for everything to kind of really kick in. It was just super experimental, and I feel like Kesha's recent journey has really opened her up into a kind of new place artistically that is so intriguing, and I can't wait to see what this full album's going to give us, because it looks heavy. It looks like it could be really mind-bending, so I'm really excited. So I've got a little question for you. Did you enjoy the song in the intro? Oh, you did? Oh wow. I'm glad you did. That was my song Criminal, and actually if you want to check that out you can do. The link is in the screen for the lyric video, or you can stream it on Spotify, Apple Music, etc. Links in the description. Thank you for supporting me with my music. I've got new stuff coming out this summer, so keep an eye out. If you're new to the channel, which you might be because I haven't done Kesha on the channel before, well, apart from last week, then make sure to subscribe for reactions that really dig into the artistry behind the artist. And if you want to support me even further, you can do over on Patreon, where you can get all my videos unedited, you can get them early, and you can request songs from me, all that stuff. Really cool. Okay, let's do it. Obviously no Kesha from Party Girl Kesha, which was soundtrack to my university life. But I also really enjoyed her, was it Rainbow? Was that the name of the album? Praying was just a gorgeous statement of I am more than just Party Girl Kesha. I have so much more to show as an artist. First song, this is Something to Believe In. Okay, it's a subtle intro. I'm kind of tempted to turn it up. I'm gonna wait, no. This is really giving me something quite cinematic, quite solemn, quite very gentle, very soft intro.
You never know that you need something to believe in when you never know that you need something to believe in.
I never noticed you needed something to believe in. Cool, okay. Okay. I really like the textures here. It's almost something kind of wet to that drum thing. Cool. A shade of madness, a phase of sadness. Cool. There's something really textural about the drums that I love. The saw wave synth is very squelchy. Yeah, okay. Cool. There's it really is textural. I really like it. And it's very dry in something very electronic, which is quite a really nice juxtaposition.
So embarrassing, so used to abandoning myself. I still love life.
I can't believe I'm still alive. And then musically it goes straight into Eat the Acid. That is really cool. I like that. As an opening track, that really was giving me a sense of there is something coming. You know, I really liked the really slow kind of gentle fade in that really gave me a softness, that I'm not used to seeing with Kesha. The kind of dryness of the drum track, I think really offset the kind of high electronica and the kind of experimental panning and the interesting use of melody that seemed to give this kind of swirling sense of unease and disorder within her brain. That's what it's giving me. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, great. And then it goes straight into the next song. You never know that you need something to believe in when you know it all. So there's a sense of a fall from grace, a fall from ego. I felt that was something that we kind of discussed with her first two songs that she put out, was this sense of ego that she was trying to break down. And that's what she's saying. Like, when you have ego, it's like you don't feel like you need to believe in anything because you're everything. Do you know what I mean? Greatness just a shade of madness, ego just a face of sadness, pain is just a part of package, around we go, around we go. Deconstructing what she thought was important, collapsing the kind of chaos of her life to try and find some sense of balance. And she's realizing that ego is just like the face of true sadness. Like, it's like a veneer. I sit and watch the pieces fall. I don't know who I am at all. So as soon as she got rid of all that kind of veneer of ego, she suddenly realized that she doesn't actually know who she is and that it was all fake. And that's what she's saying, is like, now she's lost everything. She's like, I need to find something to believe in again. So used to abandoning myself, I can't believe I'm still alive. Wow. Shit. Let's go on to the next song. This is Eat the Acid, which I did react to for the first time in my song catch-up video. So if you want to check out the first time I heard it, you can watch that one. Let's go. I just love the musical transition there. Very clever. Like it changed me.
Been dodging gods I didn't want. I never felt like I belonged.
So he's still, like in this place of feeling completely lost, having kind of stripped back the kind of ego, you know. Just now she's kind of admitting that maybe some of the damage of her previous life can't be undone. It's a cautionary tale, you know. I should have listened to you, you know.
I swear to God, I close my eyes. The universe announced your time.
Yeah, there's a real sense of like finding a sense of purpose, having gotten rid of the outside, and she's now hearing this voice which is starting to kind of pull her forwards.
Don't ever
Eat the acid,
if you don't wanna be changed.
like it changed me. I love this section. It's such an interesting lead single as well. Like,
I search for answers all my life.
I like the kind of demo-ish nature of the vocal here as well.
I am the one that I've been fighting the whole time. The divine.
Wow. It's so cool. It's almost like finding a sense of, maybe she's like using religion to find a sense of purpose. This section really does tell me that, you know. And it's such a beautiful counterpoint, isn't it? Like to have this like, you know, huge, like big angelic chorus come out in the middle of a song that's really glitchy and dark, you know. It's really satisfying and it gives you a real sense of hope, you know. Like it changed me. I'm gonna let it trail on for a bit just so I know where it goes, because it does really build up, doesn't it? Okay, not what I was expecting it to go straight on. Yeah, that song is really giving me like, I should have listened to you, and actually I kind of regret how I lived my life before, the place in which I found myself, you know, the place that life took me to. The effects of that are still affecting me. You know, it's like there's still the jagged edges that you can't escape. But there does seem to be some sort of hope in this realization. And I think that's kind of like the point of the song, is that she's realizing her mistakes, realizing the things that she needs to change. And I think that's where the hope is kind of coming from, even though it's still really dark. Yeah, if you want to check out my first lyric analysis and stuff, that is in the song catch-up video. I'll leave a link for you. Let's jump on to the next song. This is Living in My Head. And we're going to acoustic place, but still with the experimental vocal stuff. I love all the harmonies. No.
Oh, I don't wanna be here anymore. It's in my head here anymore.
I don't want to be here anymore, stuck inside my head.
I don't wanna be scared anymore. Scared of
I
myself.
love the guitar.
Scared of everyone else anymore. And I'm like, when's it gonna end?
Wow. She's seeking escape from her own brain, her own thoughts, her own anxieties.
Crawling on my skin here on the floor.
It's interesting that like even in a song that's acoustic, her voice still has so much edge to it that it keeps the progression of this kind of darkness continuing, you know. There's something about the way in which Kesha performs that just gives it such like weight. It's that kind of like croak, it's that crisp, and it's like how raw and how like unpolished her vocals sound. It's like really arresting.
Just can't stand it. Gotta hate myself. Can't.
I can't get out of my head. There's a lot of self-hatred here. I love the kind of combination of the acoustic guitar and the layered up, wow, almost like improvised vocals. Gorgeous. I really like that. That's like a microcosm of feeling there, isn't there? Like a moment where you just feel like you can't get out of your own head, you can't stop overthinking things, and that kind of swirling nature is very much shown in the repetitive nature of the vocals. It's that feeling when you are stuck in your own head and you're stuck with your own anxieties. It's like a circular thing, like you're stuck, like you're going in circles, but every time you go round it feels like it's building. You know, it starts off like with the kind of 3 vocals, and then it kind of like adds in layers and layers and layers as each chorus kind of comes in, and then that last section has, it's kind of, you can't tell how many voices are happening, and it's like all these voices in your head are just piling up. I really like the kind of how literal that song seems to represent that feeling of these voices in your head, like going around in circles. It's like really cool. And I think like setting it just over an acoustic guitar is a really good way of like allowing us to understand that idea of the layered vocals without too much distraction. Yeah, it shows confidence, doesn't it, actually, to be able to say, this is the idea for the song, let's just keep it that, you know? I don't want to be here anymore, stuck inside my head here anymore. I don't want to be scared anymore. So scared of myself here anymore. Scared of everyone else. I'm crawling out of my skin here on the floor. I'm so sick of myself, you don't know. It feels as if like with everything that's happened to her and with the kind of context of like her fame and stuff, it seems like she hasn't been able to process everything properly. The result of that is her kind of being stuck within her own head with these like huge levels of anxiety that she feels like she can't cope with, you know? It's so fucking exhausting. I'm so fucking insecure. I just can't stand it. Gotta hate myself. This is like really dark. It's quite difficult to kind of see the lyrics to this because it is really so stark, isn't it? There's no filter, absolutely zero filter here. And I think that's kind of the point, right? Like the idea of it being like the gag order. Maybe she feels like she's been filtered for so long that in this album she needs to be completely unfiltered. That seems to be really like the center of truth within this album, is the need to be completely unfiltered. And I'm certainly getting that in the lyrics here. In this moment, she hates herself and she's not holding any of that back. Yeah. Wow, okay, let's go on to the next one. This is Fine Line. Again, I listened to this in the catch-up video. So yeah, if you want to see my first lyric analysis, go over to that one, but let's listen to it again. Now I've heard the first 3 songs and I'm getting an idea of what the album's about.
There's a fine line I've been walking. This is where you fuckers pushed me.
The first 3 songs seems like she's blaming herself, but at least here she's now starting to see it wasn't her fault, you know. She's been silenced.
Am I bigger than Jesus or better off dead? There's a sick of walking that fine line between famous and being forgot. Sick of walking that fine line.
I just love all the kind of lyrical like back and forth in this. It's really so well done because of this idea of a fine line. It's like you've got one side and the other, something that you're trying to balance, and all the lyrics are balancing, you know. It's really just really good.
It'll be the cross I'll die on.
And all these like, you know, referring to ego seems to be like a big theme.
Fine line between hope and delusion, but sick of walking that fine line. Guess what? I'm sick of pretending for you.
She's really not afraid to like go to really interesting places on this album. Like even within one song, she'll go to like emotionally very different places. I love the feeling of no filter, because even in the experimentation within the kind of sections of the song that feels like there's no filter, she's just allowing her creativity to flow.
Fine line between what matters and doesn't. Between happy and stupid as fuck. But hey, look at all the money we made off me.
That's such a kind of like, oh God, there's such a stark way to end that song that I love. Like, but hey, look, all the money we made off of me. It's like, there's a real cynicism in her voice there that's like, I've been going through all this fucking bullshit, but you know, at least we made lots of money. You know, it's like, was it really worth it? You know, really just like so powerful. I really love the songwriting in that. So experimental and interesting and like, yeah, no filter. But I just love how like, how much attention to detail there seems to be in the lyrical content. Like, she may be like letting it all hang out, but she's still got to focus on making like, this is a really good song. Like, I want to make it a good song. I don't want to just like vomit out whatever comes out. It needs to have a focus on the song. That seems to be the balance on the fine line that she's really striking quite well, especially in that song. Like, I just think the lyricism like really shows that she's thought about what she's doing, and that idea of balance in every single lyric is really cool. If I seem slightly sedate today, it's because I went to see Beyonce a couple of days ago and I had the time of my life, but I am exhausted even like 2 days later. Let's go on to the next song. This is Only Love Can Save Us Now. I know she put this out the other day, but I haven't heard any of it yet, so let's go.
This evil Knievel.
Okay.
To run you down the church in the steeple.
Okay. So it's kicked in now. Oh, I love the typewriter.
I'm a demon.
Cool.
In his image, he made it.
I love that she's like taking it somewhere a bit heavier now. Not what I was expecting. Okay, so she's starting to find a way forward. Oh, nice.
Resurrection's here. Can you believe it?
Wow, okay. She's really kind of, it seems to be referencing her earlier music slightly more here.
Don't fucking tell me that I'm dealing with reason.
Yeah. But now it's with so much more of an intent
Selfish.
and anger.
Got no shame left. Baby, that's my freedom.
I've got no shame left, and that's my freedom. It's like she's gone like to the bottom of the bottom, the lowest of the low, and she's now managing to rebuild herself with no shame. Yeah. It's interesting. Like, I'm not sure I'm completely sold. It's almost a bit like Timber, isn't it? I think that might be intentional. I like the kind of like big chant, choir, gang vocal thing that's giving us a kind of preaching kind of feeling.
Shut up, eat your breakfast. Baby, that's my freedom.
Okay, interesting song. I'm not completely sold on it. I feel like it was maybe slightly too disconnected for me. And I think that maybe it was a little bit like the kind of guitar and like drum beat thing was giving me a little bit too much Timber, that era of like EDM, which I'm a bit like, we had our fill of at the time, you know. Yeah, but that said, I like where she's going with her story. You know, she's definitely like the first like few songs she's been at the lowest of the low and kind of really having to deconstruct kind of her ego and her like, you know, the outside of herself to try and figure out like what's going on. This is the first moment that she's felt like she's fighting back. Yeah, I'm selfish. Shut up and eat your breakfast. Like, I don't give a shit what you're saying to me anymore. Like, I have power, and that power comes from not from the kind of ego and the kind of idea of power that I think she thought she had before, but actually the power she now has is from her own growth, being able to come back from being taken down to the lowest low, you know, which I think is a really cool message. And I like this idea that like she's taken it back to basics and she's realised that like love for one another is the most important thing to her, and the thing that she thinks is going to save her and save everybody. I think that's maybe the thing that's thrown me out of it a little bit, is that it got a little bit preachy in the way that it's like only love can save us. I kind of feel like it would have made more sense for me if it had been only love can save me, because then it's more like personal. We're still within that personal story. Tell a bitch I can't jump this evil Knievel. Been baptized in Hollywood in the cathedral. The power of Christ compels me, I'm a demon. Yeah, Jesus take the wheel, I'm going through phases. The bitch I was, she's dead, her grave desecrated. There's a sense of like religion, I feel like that's been hinted at before, but now she's like blending this like religious imagery in quite obviously, referring to this kind of like religious imagery in this kind of like almost like false god that she followed, which maybe was like the height of her ego and the height of like fame and stuff, because that's like, you know, baptized in Hollywood, saying that she's dead, and the grave in the steeple, the grave in the church, all that stuff is desecrated and she's moved on from that person. Only love can save us now. Simple chorus, huh? I'm getting sued because my mum has been tweeting. Don't fucking tell me that I'm dealing with reason. I would kill for secrets, all of mine been leaking, and I got no shame left, baby, that's my freedom. Any secrets that she might have had is all gone. You know, she has no control over that anymore. Despite the kind of pain of that and the invasion of privacy, at least she now has no shame and she can just kind of rise from the ashes, you know. But yeah, I just really like the attitude in this, that she's coming back with like fight and a little bit more of her old personality. And I feel like she's brought back that sense of attitude, but now with a purpose of like self-empowerment. Okay, let's go on to the next one. This is All I Need Is You.
authentic love is beyond your control.
What's going on there?
And the most basic
Wow.
thing,
I wonder who that is. I have to look it up.
even against the whole world.
If you're possessed by love, you can go even against the whole world. Quite a powerful message, isn't it? You know.
So chaotic sometimes. I've been so caught up in my own shit, taking years for granted, and grays are starting to show.
I love the sensitivity in this.
All my dreams have come and gone 500,000 times. All I need is you.
Oh wow.
Wow. But who's the one that's gonna care if I can make it home? No parts of me nobody else will ever know.
Oh, so she's finally found some sense of privacy and secrecy and intimacy in a world that's already broken all of that for her. She's managed to find it again.
It's always in mind.
She's found someone who's going to truly support her.
But there's one thing I can't lose.
I love the simplicity in this. It's just really like, I really, really like it. And it feels like after going through some like pretty heavy stuff at the beginning of the album, and then almost like having a phase of like attitude and anger, she's found a place of like sincerity and sensitivity that is really refreshing and really lovely. And I really love how her voice sounds in it. You know, it sounds very, intimate, you know. It's the love song, you know. I love the kind of way in which it references the context of the album, you know. All my dreams have come and gone like 500,000 times, and now I've needed that. Actually, all I really need is something quite simple, and that's just like someone to care, which is really just takes it back to like this feeling of like, you know, love kind of conquering all and love being the most important thing within one's life. But for me, this one says that message without having to make it preachy, you know, which I think the previous song does. I've been so caught up in my own shit, tell me that you'll live forever. I'd love it, dogs, if you could be a bit quiet. And it always feels like the first time, but now the greys are starting to show. Your love might break my heart harder than being alone. All my dreams have come and gone 500,000 times. That's so sad, isn't it? And like, but really does seem to kind of paint a picture of how our life has gone. You know, she had early success that actually proved to be not actually good for her, really, and now it's all kind of been stripped back, and she's realised that I don't need much, but there's one thing I can't lose. It's all I need is you. You know, this is actually what's important to me. It's about the cat. Sorry, I just saw the genius thing. It's about the cat. Okay. I mean, I love a cat. I mean, I'm a cat man myself. It's very okay, cool. But to be fair, like I felt the same way, but when my cat died, I was like so sad. I think there's something really lovely about the fact that she's found so much therapy through an animal, you know. It's gorgeous. Okay, let's go on to the next one. This is The Drama. Oh, we're going back to a heavier place. I like how kind of untreated the synths are in this album.
And it's coming for me.
Ooh.
Swimming in my head like a great white. Distract me from this empty feeling.
Ooh, cool. Okay. This is like so weird.
At least it's something to do.
At least it's something to do. Wow.
Oh, the drama of it all.
There's kind of a feeling of trying to create something to keep you interested.
Friday night, get me from this empty feeling.
There's a real homemade feeling to this song. It's giving me like early Lord vibes, you know? Interesting. I like the opening section and how it then went into this. I'm not like completely convinced by the song as a whole. Okay, cool. Something quite dark about this one. Ooh, okay. I like the key change, that was cool. Okay, I'm gonna guess that's her cat shit she sampled. Okay. Interesting. This is interesting.
It's garbage as art.
I'll be a fucking cute son of a gun. Yeah, okay, interesting ending. That was a very strange song. I'm not sure whether that one really came together for me. Like I think earlier it felt like the strangeness and the experimentation and the lack of filter, most of the songs still kind of pulled it together. That song didn't quite for me. So there was something like quite interesting about like the way in which the kind of nothingness of the beginning set up like kind of creating the drama, creating this beat, you know? In the next life I want to come back as a house cat. I crawl in my bed, close my eyes, but I can never sleep. There's a violence in the silence. Ooh. I need something to distract me from this empty feeling. It's almost like she creates this little beat as a distraction, you know, which I think is very, very interesting. After great amounts of upheaval and upset and trauma, you know, like sometimes the nothingness after that can be just as hard to deal with in a way, especially like if this is in the context of lockdown, you know. And so she creates the drama. I'm bored and I'm broken. I am self-destroying. It's almost like when you don't have anything to distract you, like that's the point where you overthink and you start like losing it and start creating drama and just to kind of feel something, you know? At least it's something to do, all the drama of it all. I desperately want to think people are good, but if you'd seen the things I'd seen, I don't know if you would. Wow. I like to think this album must be some level of therapy for her, you know? And keep checking my pulse. Am I dead yet? All I need is anything to distract me from this empty feeling. Jesus. And then that whole last section of just being like, I just wanted to be this cute cat that's like, doesn't feel any complex feelings, is just looked after. Okay. Let's go on to the next song. This is the Dass Interlude.
It's garbage as art. Do you like me? Am I good enough? Do you approve of me? Do you like me? Do you approve of me? Am I good enough? Am I good enough? Have I achieved enough?
Wow.
And there comes a period.
It's like pressure on all of us.
You start to identify with the blue sky instead of the cloud. And often in the release there is a closing of the heart because you don't want to get hurt again.
Yeah.
Still holding on.
It's like a self-help tape, isn't it?
Realize you'd rather be vulnerable and be hurt than be living dead.
Wow. Seems to be like maybe some psychologist kind of saying, you know, like really like a self-help kind of thing where it's like you've got to allow yourself to kind of harden over because you don't want to be hurt again. You kind of got to allow that. And then once you go through that, you do get to a point where actually you can admit that being vulnerable is actually the way forward. And it seems like maybe this is the turning point for her. Very interesting. Really adds to the kind of the tapestry of this album being like really about her mental health and the grief reaction, so far at least. Okay, let's go on to the next one. This is Too Far Gone.
Nothing's set in stone. And holding on to hope, it only makes it lonelier. Love comes with pain, I don't know why. My whole life too far gone, and I'll never come back. Missing you, or am I missing pieces of me?
Am I missing you or am I missing who I used to be?
With this pride I won't
I
apologize.
love the production in this song.
Maybe all this hate I'm holding isn't helping me, but it's mine to keep.
Still feels like she's stuck.
Sometimes I add up all my wasted time.
But not to let go.
Sometimes I killed the part of me that I like.
Wow. I think I killed the part of me that I like. Jeez.
Too far gone and I'll never come back. I wish
Wow. There's a feeling of, yeah, like being too far, like, past it, you know, like, I can't undo what's done in the past. There's something freeing about that feeling, though, you know.
I'm missing pieces of me.
Is this the next song? Yeah. I love the transition there. That was really cool. I was really taken into that, like that kind of like sounds. Yeah, beautiful. I really like that one. That one like seems to be like after that kind of like the song before that obviously kind of set out like this idea of attempting to be vulnerable again. She's still admitting to herself that she's still in that phase of like self-doubt and actually kind of feeling like she in some way is beyond saving, and actually her admitting in that song that she can't actually be who she used to be. Maybe all this time she's been trying to be that person again, whereas actually maybe she needs to start thinking, I'm going to be someone else. You know, she's too far gone. She can't like undo what was done to her. you know? It feels like we're really getting deep into psychology with this album, which is really interesting. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I think it's really good. I love an album that really gets in deep. Nothing's set in stone, not even the diamond wrapped around my finger. Too far gone and I'll never come back. Slipping through my fingers, damn, it's going fast. Trying to find some meaning, something that lasts. Am I missing you? Am I missing pieces of me? Am I missing you? Or am I missing who I used to be? I think she's starting to realise that her life is kind of like going by quite quickly, and maybe she needs to grab it by the reins again, you know? With this pride, I won't apologise for how I'm feeling. With this ego, I won't be the only one that's bleeding. Maybe all this hate I'm holding isn't helping me, but I'm stubborn, it's mine to keep. She's admitting that maybe she won't actually truly get over everything. I think she's starting to kind of maybe realise that this trauma is going to be part of her for life, and maybe she needs to start thinking about it in different terms. Yeah. Okay, let's go on to Peace and Quiet. I like the drums. I love that. Interesting use of auto-tune.
Maybe I could do this on my own. Maybe I should be
Very different sounding song.
Maybe I should be lying if I said I could do peace and quiet.
Wow. She's really assessing what she needs, you know. Maybe she's realising that she can't just have the quiet life. She needs something. Interesting. This is strange.
Maybe this isn't normal. Goddamn, who am I kidding? I'm the hero and I'm the fucking villain. Maybe I should learn to be alone. Maybe I could stop and take a breath. Maybe I could love a little less.
It's so strange. Every song you think you know where it's going and she surprises you. Yeah, I think I really understand where she is in terms of like this feeling of feeling like she's been gagged for so long that she needs to be completely unfiltered, you know, unfiltered within her creative process, not just what she's saying, but how she's saying it, you know. It's so weird. I'm not on board with all of it, if I'm honest. But I think she'd want that, you know.
Monday I'm praying, Tuesday I'm heinous, Thursday I'm off to something, need a restraining order.
Cool. And she's, yeah, oh, I like that.
I would be lying if I said
Interesting. I would be lowing if I said shh. Yeah, okay. Very strange song. That one really went from one place to another in quite an interesting way. Some of it is so experimental that it doesn't always land, but I think that's very much the point. I don't think she's trying to make it all land. I think she's just trying to get it out. Like, I do get that, and I really like appreciate the album for what it's doing. It seems to be allowing her to unlock a lot of parts of herself by just being completely unfiltered. Got the pendulum of emotion swinging back and forth and up and down like waves in the ocean. Maybe I should learn to be alone. Maybe I could do this on my own. So maybe there's a sense of like, maybe like trying to date and realizing that like she doesn't have much patience anymore, and maybe she's kind of thinking that actually my future could be better if I was just learning to be independent. But I would be lying if I said I could do peace and quiet. As much as like she still feels like she's messy, she's understanding that like it's part of herself to need something. Like she can't do the peace and quiet, she can't do the simple life, she needs something. So get into it or get the fuck out. So there's a sense of like empowerment that she's really feeling through like, you know, I need to find somebody who can cope with this, because at the end of the day I'm not going to be able to completely change who I am. And I think there's something healing in letting go of the need to be perfect, you know. Monday I'm praying, Tuesday I'm heinous, Wednesday I'm stable, Thursday I'm up to something, Friday I'm screaming when I'm sleeping. So she's kind of saying, you know, throughout the week I'm going to have all these ups and downs, this is just the way that it's going to be. She's just trying to accept herself. Next song, this is Only Love, Reprise. Interesting.
This is reality. Can't you feel it?
Sounds like a panpipe or something, doesn't it? It's not what I expected from the Reprise for this song. I love the
You have to see the ear. You can't believe it.
Very strange.
I wish I could talk in Technicolor.
Interesting. I wonder what that means. Like, I think the purpose of bringing back the feeling of only love can save us now is like, you know, maybe it's a flash of something that she realised earlier in the progression, but like now she's starting to kind of see that maybe that she needs to take a little bit of that onto herself. Maybe she needs to love herself more. This is reality. Can't you feel it? Only love can save us now. I wish I could talk in technical. Yeah, trying to find some meaning, I think, and some direction. And I think the meaning that she's then saying is that, like, you know, love has to be the central thing for her, you know? Okay, let's go on to the penultimate song. This is Hate Me Harder. Piano.
Congratulations, caught me doing
Fairly simple piano, you know.
I graduated.
Cool, I like that.
You say that I'm over, you say I'm a has-been. Luckily the joke's on you. Nothing left to prove.
Yeah, nothing left to prove.
Baby, give me hell.
Yeah, wow. Like, I'm free of this, you know. I don't care about what you think of me anymore. You can hate me as hard as you want. I'm okay.
Energy wasted on me.
Yeah.
You say I'm obnoxious, nobody was asking.
I do really think that her artistry has certainly evolved. And, like, she's certainly really become, like, a much more nuanced artist, I think, since the last album, you know.
Again and again and again and again, I'll keep saying it over again. Fuck that, I do it all over again. I'll take it.
Wow. Yeah, like, I can take all the hate, I can take all the pain. I've proved that to myself.
It's really not about me.
Yeah.
Hey.
Wow. For an album about ego, to say it's not about me.
Keep on
Big moment.
talking all about me.
Yeah, that really does feel like such a healing moment to be able to say, you keep on hating me. Your opinion of me has nothing to do with me. It's all about you. She's really managed to find some freedom there in being able to say, you can hate me as hard as you want. It's not going to affect me anymore because I've let go of my ego. That's really what they're saying, isn't it? I've let go of my ego. Because somebody who had a big ego would care about what other people think of them. And so to find yourself in a place where you don't care about that anymore means that you've let go of that ego. And I think that was what she was trying to do earlier in the album and what she's managed to do here. Yeah. And I love how she kind of says all this and has this journey without like necessarily stating it outright. It really does feel like she's developed her artistry, so it has much more nuance. If I were to like have criticisms of the Rainbow album, is that some of it was quite on the nose and some of it was quite kind of like immature at moments. Whereas this one does seem to be, yeah, much more nuanced. And I'm really appreciating that. I like that song a lot, actually. It's not about me, it's all about you. That's the thing about trolls and haters is like, you know, like it's not about you. It's about the hatred that they have in their life, you know. Congratulations, you caught me doing some dumb shit again. That's what I do. Yeah, that's what I do. She's like, I'm like, whatever. Like, I'm a human, I'm going to make mistakes. So if hating me helps you love yourself, then do your worst, give me hell. Hate me harder. There's nothing left that I haven't heard and I can take it, so make it hurt. Yeah. She's really hardened in a way, but I think having gone down to the lowest of the low, she's managed to realise what's important and come back from it and find herself stronger on the other side, you know. I've been there, I've done it, I've lived it, I've fucked it, I'll do it all over again. Actually being able to say, I've gone through shit, I've gone through all that I've been through, but I would do it again, really shows maturity because she's admitting that there was something good to come out of all the crap. And it seems to be a sense of like empowerment, self-empowerment, a realization about what's important to her, which is her cat. Really cool. Okay, before we go on to the final song, a quick shout out to my patrons. These guys all support me over on Patreon. They get a number of benefits. As well as getting your name in the video, you can also get access to the exclusive Discord server where everyone's chatting about music. On the next tier up, you can actually get videos unedited, so no cuts in any of the songs or anything, and you can get them earlier than everyone on YouTube because I put them up as soon as I've recorded. On the upper tiers, you then actually get to request specific songs from me, so I will react to anything you ask me to. So yeah, if you want to check out all the things you can get over on Patreon and support me even further in being a full-time creative person, I'm not there yet, but we're getting there, then head over to Patreon, links in the description. Cool. Final song. I like that it's called Happy. Let's go.
And sometimes you think you're doing the magic, and sometimes you realize the magic is doing you, and this was one of those.
Maybe that's like her relation to the process of making this album, you know? She thought she was doing it, but actually the music was healing her. You know,
It's nothing like I imagined it. So many times I wish I would've just listened. I'm ready for it all. There's so many things I said that I wish I left unsaid. It's passing life, so I don't
There's a real settled feeling to this song, isn't there?
Me now, all I've wanted to be is happy.
Yeah, well, if you ask me now, all I've ever wanted to be is happy. So she's kind of admitting that maybe before she didn't really have an idea of what she really wanted, but now she does.
Before I knew that anyone could be evil.
Wow.
I refuse to be jaded, still painting rainbows all over my face, so I don't die.
Wow. Gotta move on, like you've got to kind of learn to find the humour in things and actually kind of let go.
Life ain't no
Yeah, wow.
if you'd ask me now.
I love the sense of being able to look back and kind of put things in perspective. Oh, and that's the end. Talking right at the end of the album. Classic me. I do like that she's managed to find a perspective, and that what that song is really about is like perspective, being able to look back and think about what you wanted then, what you want now, and now with that perspective you can understand what actually the truth of what all she ever really wanted was happiness. She was chasing that with the fame and the, you know, the kind of like chasing the hits and having the success, thinking that was going to make her happy. But then after going through the pain and like the trauma and going straight back to ground zero, I think she realized that actually like that stuff maybe wasn't necessarily going to bring her happiness, and now she knows maybe she can actually start like chasing that in a more like legitimate way. So many times I wish I would have just listened. I wasn't ready for it all. There are so many things that I changed, but I can't. There are so many things I said that I wish I left unsaid. Time's passing me by, gotta just laugh so I don't cry. All these things that she wishes that she could have changed, all these regrets, are just in the past now. So she's got to kind of laugh at it. She's got to like find some humor in it, because like if you were to take those things too seriously, like you can't, you know? And I think that's again like letting go of your ego, isn't it? If you ask me then where I wanted to be, it looks something like this, living out my wildest dreams. But life sometimes ain't always what it seems. If you ask me now, all I've wanted is to be happy. When she was younger, she had all these dreams of being a huge success. But when actually those dreams come true, like the reality of it wasn't actually what she thought it would be. And now she has that perspective. She's understanding that all she really wanted was happiness, you know. I remember when I was little, before I knew anyone could be evil, those egos, again, ego. And I refused to be jaded, still painting rainbows all over my face. I've gotten used to the fall. There's a real sense of like this full circle, looking back at who she thought she wanted to be, look at that with a sense of perspective, and the result is this kind of like settled feeling of like, actually now I know what I really want is happiness, and I feel like I have more of an idea of how to get that now. Like this album is really like, as much as like a lot of it doesn't necessarily land for me, I do feel like there's such an accomplishment in being able to represent this process of almost like grieving her old life, letting go of ego and moving on and being able to get on the path to finding true happiness finally. And I think she's really done such a good job in expressing that, not only through lyricism, but also through the way in which the production is approached. Like that idea of like having no filter I think has been really important, because it's allowed her to process a lot of feelings that she maybe wasn't allowing herself to process. And I love how that's represented just in the approach to all the different songs, like the experimentation. So as much as it doesn't all land, I think it was necessary for this album to kind of actually have this true feeling of freedom. I think there's something so beautiful about the artistry in that, you know, and I think the overall story of the album, the visuals and everything of this gag order, like for not being able to actually really truly express herself, and this album is the opposite of that and actually is allowing her to just let it all hang out. I'm really inspired by that story. I think it's really good. If you want to check out my initial reactions to Eat the Acid and to Fine Line, then you can click on it here. If you want to check out my playlist that features all my reactions to all the latest music, then that is here.